Welcome to tonight's JCSE meeting. Just before we start, just to let everybody know that tonight's meeting is being live streamed on YouTube and it can be watched back at a later date as well. Just before we start agenda item number 1, I just want to introduce, we've got a new visitor tonight from the GMB, he's the regional organiser. He is here tonight, obviously, to represent GMB, but we do actually have a new GMB rep that's newly elected, but sadly can't be here tonight due to outside issues. So welcome to tonight's JCSE. I'll move on to agenda item number 1, apologies for absence and substitutions. Councillor Wilkinson.
Thank you. Apologies from Councillor Miller. And Councillor Boyle is substituting.
Thank you very much. We've had no other apologies. I think Councillor Greensmith is running a little bit late, so she might turn up just a fraction later. Item 2 on the agenda is to approve a correct record of the minutes of the meeting held on the 30th of August. Sadly, I wasn't at that meeting, but I'd like to thank the Vice Chair, Councillor Ellis, for stepping in for me. Does anybody have any items they want to raise on this agenda item from the minutes?
Move them.
Can we have a seconder? Thank you. All in favour of approving these minutes?
Can I just make a comment as well?
Yeah.
I'd just let the committee know, it was a recommendation of the committee that for foster care leave, you'll remember that should be treated as paid leave for all children irrespective of age. And that was a recommendation from the committee which was adopted by the ACSC. So just to let you know that that recommendation had been observed.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 4, a report from Head of HR, David.
Thank you, Chair. Just a short information report. The report covers changes that have been made to the permanent establishment outside the formal JCSC forum. 3 team changes, I suppose, but all within the same service area, governance and customer services. The first one was in the democratic services team, mainly sort of reduction in hours from the executive support posts from 95 down to 59, and a slight increase in hours with the service support assistants from 37 to 41. Where we have decreased, there were no current post holders adversely affected. The second team change on page 10, again, same service area, covers health and safety. So we have now recruited successfully to the permanent post of health and safety and emergency planning manager, and also to the temporary assistant post as well. So we've taken that service back in-house. And thirdly, to report to you within the customer services team, reduction in hours, either vacant or where the post holder had requested a reduction in hours for the customer service advisor post at band 5 and for the training officer post as well. So again, these are to make efficiencies, but also to allow for a change in post. So we had the old manager at band 10 in the team. We reviewed the way that we actually sort of manage and work with that team, and a newer post at band 12, a higher level post, so additional duties and responsibilities was created. And I can report that the post holder in the band 10 post was successful in securing the band 12 post, the promotion, if you like. So again, within the team, no redundancies or threat of redundancies that materialised. So just information item to report, please, Chair.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have a comment they'd like to make on agenda item number 4? No? Oh, Councillor Feeney.
Just a question. How's the staffing levels in the council? Are they gradually going down, or what's the over the last year?
Yes, we're seeing sort of slight reductions still, down to about 436 probably as we speak. That's a head count. The teams do continue to contract. Obviously, I mean, we are also creating new posts, if you like. So, as I say, we've taken the health and safety function back in-house. So that is a change to the establishment, if you like, an increase. And we do continue to try to recognise where there is a need, we put resource there. But staffing budgets are squeezed and efficiencies are needed as well. So yes, between this year and last year, the number has reduced slightly. Can't give you the numbers off the top of my head, but there's been a slight reduction, yes.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on agenda item number 4? Okay, the recommendation is on page 9, and the recommendation is to note to the report. Moving on to agenda item number 5, it's David again, sickness absence.
Thank you, Chair. You'll be familiar with the format of the report, but happy to report again, as we did when last we met, that trend continues to improve. On page 12, you'll see a bar chart there which gives you some, perhaps a clearer way of understanding what I'm speaking about. The dotted line is the trend, which is coming down. You'll see, I suppose, an increase between July and August and September. But if you look at the same months this time last year, you'll see that they're a much higher level and we're also increasing. So the picture is a better one. We are now at about 10.4 days FTEs lost per FTE equivalent. Target's 9 days, so still substantially over target. But actually about a day better off than we were when we looked at the June stats. Long-term absence cases remain quite low at 4. And again, I think similarly when we met last time, we had a figure around that level. When we do have a larger number of longer-term cases, it does have a noticeable effect on the level of attendance, sorry, the level of absence. We continue to try to manage absence in positive ways, working with managers, with union reps, with the employees, to find positive ways of encouraging people back to work, to support them back to work. And the low level long-term absence cases is reassuring. So I guess in summary is what I've said. The picture is currently positive, and the trend at the moment continues to improve. And the recommendation shows just to note the report, please.
Thank you very much, David. Any questions on agenda item number 5? Councillor Boyle.
Just a quick one. In your opinion, would you say that this trend, which is an improvement, as you've pointed out and the figures show that, would you say that was down to sort of a lessening of the impact of COVID, or mainly, or is it other interventions or other things?
Thank you. I think in a large part it probably is to do with coming through the sort of COVID, I suppose. The pandemic, I mean, the problem with the last year in particular has been that control measures across the country obviously have been relaxed at a time when there was spread of COVID, but also problems with non-reporting because actually it was harder to test. So I think it's been quite hard to really see a picture. So I suspect that the downturn has, that has been largely perhaps to do with the sort of resistance within population and actually, fewer cases of COVID because of that. I think it's going to take a while until we do properly understand sickness again. And as I say, as COVID becomes more endemic, like flu, then we'll understand properly sort of sickness levels and perhaps some of the very, very high levels that we've encountered over the last year. Hopefully will be a thing of the past and we can move closer to target. Because prior to COVID, we were meeting target. So there's no reason why we shouldn't return to that. And again, working with people in positive ways, I'd like to think that, that target is something that absolutely should be achievable again. So I think the answer is yes, in part. And my hope is that the improvements do continue to back to where we were before 2020.
Thank you very much. If there's nothing else on this agenda item, the recommendation is on page 11, and it is to note the report, and the report is duly noted. Agenda item number 6, current staffing issues. Head of HR again.
Again, Chair, thank you. So again, just a report to note, please. So a couple of items here. One to do with pay, one to do with staffing. The item on pay, happy to report that nationally we have agreed for NJC staff, which is most of our employees, and for JNC for chief officers, a pay award that will be applied from the November pay packets. The award is of £1,925 to all employees. What does that mean? Well, it means that actually, as a percentage towards the bottom of our pay grades, the award is much greater, around 10%, towards the very top, around 4% for those employees. For chief officers, probably around 2%. So good news that actually we have concluded, I think, the national pay bargaining. That's welcome. In addition, the award nationally also gives NJC employees an additional day's leave from April next year as well. And that's on irrespective of length of service. That's all employees, which does differ from the past. So again, perhaps hopefully a good picture for this year, and certainly towards the bottom of the pay grades, an award that almost meets rate of inflation as well. Chief executives have yet to agree a national award. You'll see later in the papers, item 9, that we talk about some local measures that we're taking as well. So I won't talk about those here, but the Chief Executive is going to introduce that properly in a separate report. Page 22, just in terms of staffing, just a couple of things, probably telling you things that you already know, which is firstly that we've had the resignation of the Corporate Director of Environment, Communities and Leisure. But also, what I mentioned earlier was the appointment of the new permanent Health and Safety Manager. That's Rebecca Hutchinson, and on a temporary basis, Sarah Merrill, who's going to assist her. So, again, we're really optimistic, I think, taking the service back in-house, that we can really get our teeth into perhaps some of the areas where we've perhaps suffered without the service, to be honest with you. So, again, just an item to report, please, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any comments or questions on agenda item number 6, please? No? Okay. The recommendation is on page 21, and it's to note the report, and the report is duly noted. Okay. Item 7, I haven't got any urgent things. This is part of the meeting where we need to go to a closed meeting, so I'm going to ask someone to propose the exclusion of the press and public. Excluding press and public?
No,
No, you're all right. Okay, that's passed.